I was happy to help my sister after her divorce. Then I was horrified when I had to kick her out because of her secret. My sister just got out of a really rough relationship. Her ex-husband spent their life savings on gambling and slept with her best friend twice. My sis has no money and was truly lost. She lived for that jerk of a husband. They go back to middle school for crying out loud. I felt awful for her since she was betrayed by everyone close to her. I let her move in and wanted to help. The first month was a lot of her crying on my shoulder, boxed wine and Chinese takeout. Then after 3 months, it was starting to affect my job. I would come home from work late and see that she had dirtied up the place something fierce. I'm kind of OCD when it comes to keeping my place the way I like it, and she's the complete opposite. She tosses random stuff everywhere and says she'll clean it up later, but pretty much waits for someone else to do it. To make matters worse, she's what I would call an undiagnosed hoarder, and it's with things that really have pungent smells, like old clothes that she holds dear that smell like 7 people died in them. When I would tell her to wash them, she would hiss at me like a feral cat, and I totally understand being stuck in a deep depression and feeling unable to move, which she was in, but at a certain point she needed to take some sort of action, whether or not that was getting a job doing something she loved or helping others, or starting therapy. I offered to help her find a job and a qualified shrink, and she just said, nah, I'm not ready. I need to just relax these days. She would sit on my couch, eat all of my food, and I mean all of it. I had cans of beans from the early 2000s that she somehow found and ate, and I love her to death, but the beach can fart. I mean like toxic chemical gas that just sits in the air, has a green tint to it, chokes you, and burns your nose hairs. I actually think I lost part of my sense of smell after we ate Mexican food a month ago. Something had to change, and I avoided the conversation for months because my sister has a vicious side. The things she was planning to do to her ex were so creatively evil that I applauded her for the ideas. I finally sat her down and said, look, you know how much I love you and will help you no matter what, but here's the deal. I'm working overtime to support both of us, and I'm digging into my savings because my salary isn't enough to support you and your ice cream habit. That's one thing. The other aspect to this is you need to take some kind of steps towards helping yourself. I've offered everything I can think of, but it's gotta come from you. You can't sit on my couch forever. She stared at me for what felt like an eternity, then finally said through angry tears, so you're going to choose their side now? You're telling me I'm a leech and I suck the air out of the room and I'm a lazy piece of crap? I responded, this has nothing to do with taking their side. She cut me off. Yes, it does. My ex cheated because he said I never put out and because I kept spending all of his money. I asked, well, is that true? She didn't even try to lie. Yeah, pretty much. I didn't feel like getting into bed with him because he got that weird dick-bending disease, so it was like a hook. And I had to spend his money because nobody else will, and why shouldn't I own the latest Louis Vuitton shoes? I deserve it. I was really shocked to hear her perspective and asked, then why were you surprised that he cheated? I wasn't. I was upset, but I wasn't surprised. I didn't even know what to say to her at that point. What kind of a person had my sister become? This was not who I thought she was at all. I let another month go by without saying anything, but I knew in my mind that if she didn't take any actions towards moving out or getting better, I was done. Then I came home early from a work trip one night to see her doing it with her ex-husband and her best friend on my bed. Horrified doesn't even come close to what I felt. I grabbed every one of her weird trinkets and old clothes and chucked all of it out of the window. My sister watched me do it while sitting in my bed and covering herself with my blanket, and with her dopey ex and ditzy best friend staring at me as if I was the crazy one. And then I was stopped cold when I realized that they were all on some type of drug. I kicked them out and told my sister that she needs some serious help. Did she just use me for my place and money? Her own sister? What had happened to the cool, caring, fun gal I used to know? I found out a month later that my sister had a psychotic break from a bad trip on acid a year ago and then was in and out of drug rehab. That's why she started acting really erratically and inconsistent. It kind of made sense now, but I wish I would have known that she was secretly an addict. I would have known how to help her. I haven't talked to her in 6 months. I hope she's okay.